So I've decided to do a kind of weekly, bi-weekly mailbag video showing off some of the stuff I'm getting in, because I tend to buy quite a lot of old electronics off eBay, my local jump shop, Weird Stuff Warehouse, and Craigslist, yard sales, things like that, and occasionally people just give me stuff. So, since I haven't done one of these before, I'm just going to do about the last week's worth of stuff, rather than just do everything from ever. In the future, I'll just do it from whenever I did the last video. I would like to do these weekly, but unfortunately, not unfortunate really, I'm going to be visiting relatives for the holidays. So, we'll go over the easiest stuff first. It's easiest to explain. I picked up a box copy of SolarWinds for the PC. Now, this is by Moondoggy Software, which is a branch of BNN. They did a lot of these sort of shareware releases in box. This is one of my favorite games. In fact, this is the first game I ever played with a sound card. I bought a new sound card and I had to have a game to test to play. I picked this one. Lovely game. Now, here's the weird thing. There's 2 episodes of SolarWinds. Since it's a shareware game, you've got the first episode, which is free, and you've got the second episode, which was commercial. First episode is called Escape. The second episode is called Universe. And you'll notice here, this is Galaxy. It's neither of those. So, if you look at the back here, look at these photographs. These photographs are from the first episode, Escape, or The Escape. But this description here talks about Redlick and such, which is from the second episode. So, I wasn't entirely sure when I bought this which episode it would be. Well, I've opened it up, I've put the CD, really, yeah, I put the floppy in, played it in DOSBox. It's the second episode. I would have liked to have had both, but in fact I might have the first disc somewhere. I would like to have had both, but sadly not. And even the floppy, as soon as you put it in, it starts calling itself Universe, not Galaxy. I don't know why they did that. I assume some marketer decided they couldn't call it that. This art is nice, but nothing like the game. I mean, your ship looks nothing like this. But, yeah. So, yeah, I picked this up off eBay, since it's an old favorite of mine. It's kind of one of the mini big boxes. It's a little thinner than most. Alright, I got some more big box games. So it really doesn't need an introduction. It's Duke Nukem 3D, with the add-ons on it, apparently. Although I think they may actually be missing from this copy. I didn't see them inside. This one's been opened. It's definitely used. I got this at a local comic book and game store called Space Cat down in San Jose. But yeah, I own this game. I have at least 2 CD copies of it, but in fact, I don't know if the full game ever came on floppies. I don't think so. But I never had it in box. So, picked this up for $5. A very good deal. Though, it's not in the greatest of shape. This is a sticker. I'm probably going to take that off, especially since I don't think these 2 expansions are in there. Alright, one more game. Betrayal at Antara from Sierra. Including 30 days free online membership to The Realm. I never played The Realm. Pretty sure that doesn't exist anymore. Very, very sure about that. Now, this isn't the best loved game, but it is the sort of spiritual sequel to Betrayal at Krondor, which is a very well-loved RPG from Raymond Feist's Rift War saga. But I like this. As a kid, I had the PC Gamer demo version, which was the first couple levels. And, it was a cheap box. It's in pretty good condition. I mean, there's a little bit of sticker residue here. Still got a Walmart sticker on it. It doesn't say how much this was originally. I can't tell with the marker on there. But yeah, it also is apparently for Windows 3.1 and Windows 95. I didn't realize that. Never played this on Windows 3.1. I was well into the Windows 95 era when I got this. Yeah, here are minimum requirements. 486 DX, 160 megabytes of RAM, Pentium 90. Yeah, that's definitely Windows 95 kind of requirements. So this thing seems very heavy. Does it have a book in it? I can't remember if this one came with a copy of Betrayal at Krondor on disc. Oh, no, it's just thick multi-CD. I didn't check to see if they're all in here. 1 of 3, 2 of 3, and 3 of 3. Yep, they're all in there. Complete with manuals. Nice. The Solar Winds doesn't come with any manuals, and the Duke Nukem 3D doesn't have any manuals. It may have come with them, but they're missing now. Alright. Also, while I was out game shopping at another game store, mainly for NES and Super NES games, I picked up this, the Gravis Gamepad Pro. I've got a couple of the original Gravis gamepads, but I remember having this later as a kid, maybe, God, when would this have been? 98, around there. It's a nice system. It can be played as a regular joystick, two joysticks. Got this nice connector here where you can plug it into your PC on one end, plug a second joystick onto the other, or you can have it in this grip mode, which I think activates all the buttons. I remember playing a lot of Super Nintendo games on this because you've got all the keys you need for a Super Nintendo, plus you've got 2 extra buttons. So on an emulator, you've got all your buttons, plus save and load. This is coming off as kind of black on the screen, I think, but it's actually purple. I don't have the little joystick extender, probably because those things broke so easily. But yeah, since I had a couple regular Gravises, I thought I'd pick up one of these Pros. It's got a bit of a shaky noise. It might have a bit of plastic broken inside. I haven't tried it yet. I also picked up some other gaming stuff at another gaming store. That one was, I can't remember the name of the store I got that from. But I also went to 4J's Game up in Antioch. This is a Commodore 64, the Power Stick. In fact, I think it says somewhere on here that this is by Amiga. But it's not the same Amiga. Yeah, I don't see the label on here. They put their sticker on there. This is by Amiga, but not the same Amiga you'd expect. This is just a Commodore 64 Atari-style joystick. It works very well. I had this as a kid with my C64. Very responsive. You don't have a lot of movement. You don't go very far, so you get very quick, very nice reactions. I don't know if this shows up as actually 2 buttons or if this is just fire and fire. Not sure. Again, another thing I haven't tried yet. The other thing I got for the Commodore 64 is this, an Epix Fast Load. The Commodore 64's disk drive, for kind of historical reasons, was not terribly fast, but it was very easy to reprogram it to be fast. The problem was, you didn't have the faster routines in ROM, so several companies made sort of fast loaders, and in fact many games just incorporated them straight in, which would basically reprogram the disk drive on the fly so that it could be faster. This cartridge, you put it in your C64 and you have automatic fast loading capability for all games. Not all games support this. There are some games that this interferes with the copy protection, in which case you just have to pull it out. Now see, this one's been modified. Someone's added a button here. You do sometimes see these where people have added an on-off switch so they can just easily turn it off and load copy protected games without, at regular slow speed. This is not an on-off switch. This is a momentary switch. Now, I opened this up, and someone had already put a hole in the cartridge. I opened this up and tried to figure out what this was, and I'm 99% sure this is a reset switch, just to reset the C64. But haven't actually tried it yet. Just got this in 2 days ago, I think. Been doing a lot of stuff. Alright, Commodore 64 stuff. Put this aside. I also had a roommate taking me to work the other day, and I happened to go by Goodwill. Not a lot of interesting stuff there, but I did find this. Just a standard 5¼ inch disc holder. Now I know Goodwill will toss all the discs in here and put the holder on for sale, but when I found this for sale, they had turned it like this, like inside out and upside down, and thought like it was some kind of strange modern art sculpture. Yeah. It was only a couple dollars, but hey, I've got plenty of 5¼ inch discs. I can definitely use this. Put that aside. Speaking of 5¼ inch disc, this just came in today. It's a 5¼ inch disc drive, a full height. This is the Tandon TM102A. I love these synchronization wheel on here. You're supposed to shine a very bright light, like fluorescent light on it, that'll blink at either 60 or 50 hertz, depending on your region. And you can adjust the speed. I'm not really sure where you adjust the speed until this appears to not be moving, so you can get the speed just right. But I've got one of these for my IBM 5150, but I wanted to be able to upgrade to a 2-disc system. I actually had 2 of them, but turned out the second one was bad. Someone had tried to either pull a disc out or shove a disc in without fully opening this, and it had ripped one of the heads off. So, haven't tested this one yet, just came in about an hour ago. Gonna stick it in my 5150. Speaking of my 5150, this started a whole mess the other day. This goes in my 5150. What this is my ISA compact flash card. You buy these as a PCB, and then you have to buy all the components, solder them on. You can tell if you look closely, the thing is soldered terribly. That's because I had to solder it myself. So this started a whole bit of drama that I had to deal with. So I use this in my 5150. You're supposed to use it with a CF card adapter. This uses the IDE connector rather than CF because it's much easier to solder. You don't need to do surface mount or anything like that. So I've been using this in my IBM 5150. Works great. I pulled it out to test on a 286 board. Let me grab that over here. Here's my 286 board right here. Because this 286 board was working fine, but unfortunately it has no IDE built in. As you can see, no IDE. So you need an adapter for that. Now I worked through my boxes, couldn't find any, so I'm like, hey, I got my little 8-bit ISA compact flash. I'll just borrow that from my 5150, stick it in here. Unfortunately, I stuck it in here like this. Now, ISA cards, they go in like this. This one, not having a bracket, means it's very easy to plug it in backwards. Don't ever do that. Be very careful when you're plugging this one. In fact, if you look at the silk screen on here, it has a little sign that says 2 slot brackets. That way. You got to put it in this way. If you put it in this way, all your pins are wrong, and you fry it. So yeah, this stopped working. So I'm hoping what just happened is I fried the flash chip. But in any case, I now can't use my 5150. I haven't tried putting this back in my 5150. I'm not going to. All I tried doing is putting it in my 286 here, which I've now gotten working otherwise. So I'm just going to replace these. In fact, I have down here, wait, where'd it go? Aha, over here. I have a box of brand new Mouser parts where I'm going to replace these chips. I basically bought 2 of each because I want to build another one of these. I've got the PCB. You can get the PCBs from Lowtech. In fact, I think it says it on here. Yeah. lowtech.co.uk EXTCF. No, XTCF. Yeah. So I'm going to make another one of these. I'm also going to try to fix those. I'm really hoping it's just this. I mean, I'm sure the board's fine. You can't fry the board that easily. I'm really hoping I can just swap this one chip and I'll be okay. If not, I've bought spares of the others. I'll swap all of them. Don't think anything else is broken, but hopefully I can swap until I get it working. So what I had to do for this 286, went to my local junk shop, Weird Stuff Warehouse, got me a 16-bit floppy hard drive controller. So this was a couple bucks. If I put it in correctly, this way, because you can't put it in this way. That's one of the nice things about it being a 16-bit card. So yeah, I got this. It boots on floppy. I got it to boot on IDE. Then I wanted to go to 2 IDE cards, 2 IDE drives, because I wanted to do both a hard drive, which I put away the hard drive. I was using a 40 megabyte hard drive for this thing. I want to have a second one, a CF card, so that I could easily copy between my PC. But unfortunately, I realized I didn't have any of the IDE cables handy, which is weird. You'd think someone who has as much computer junk as me would have one of these handy. I had a couple that were just 1 hard drive. See, this one has 2 hard drives. I had a couple which were just 1 hard drive, and then ones that had the pins in place, so they can only fit in one way. Unfortunately, this is one of the ones that is not keyed, so rather than pull one of these pins out and potentially damage this thing, which was hard enough to find, I just went back and got another one of these. I think this one cost me 99 cents. while I was there, I had to dig through a ton of boxes to find this. I found a couple other interesting things. Now this card, I've been trying to figure out. These are flash chips. This is RAM. This is some kind of controller for these flash chips. It's 16-bit ISA. Now, this is PCB ISA Flash Rev 1. I looked this up. This is a Cisco board. Flash on an ISA ISA board. I was hoping this might be some kind of hard drive on a card, like basically an SSD, a slow SSD using standard flash. It's possible that's what it is. I can't find any information about how you use this thing. It's some kind of internal Cisco product, and just sticking it into a system doesn't do anything, obviously. So it's probably not the kind you can boot off of. You have to have some special software to deal with some weird ports this thing uses. So unless I can easily reverse engineer this thing, it's useless. But hey, it looked interesting. Speaking of things that look interesting, I got this card. This card is interesting because, see, look at the 8-bit ISA. No pins. Or I guess are they pins then? They're not really pins, they're connectors. Alright, yeah. On the back, a couple connectors. These are just the power connectors. This thing is not really a computer board. This just takes power. The way you plug it into your computer, it spins up the fans. It just cools your computer by just borrowing power from the ISA bus. I thought it was amusing, and it was $1. So yeah, I got it. Finally, last thing I got in that trip is another IDE controller. Now this one, well, not IDE, another hard drive controller. But this one is an MFM hard drive controller. See, you've got the two little data lines. Well, this is data, these are control. I don't yet have a MFM hard drive, but it's on my to-buy list at some point. It would go nicely with my 5150. This is a Western Digital from '85. And yeah, this was in the $1 box, so I picked it up. Let's see, other things I picked up. Oh, I don't really need this in my hand anymore. Put that down. Don't want to make a big, loud noise. I got this at a yard sale. Mini flexible discs. They are single density, single-sided, 5 1/4 inch discs. Only 2 of them. So what happened was, I went to a yard sale that was on Craigslist. They said they had a big box of floppies for that antique computer, which was kind of amusing. It sounds like it's a computer from the 30s, but I went there and the guy couldn't actually find his big box. He said he put that in there kind of as a joke, and he might not have them anymore. He spent a while looking, and I had him call me back the next day, or I called him the next day and asked him if he had found them, and nope. But he did find these 2 discs. He gave them to me for free as a kind of sorry. The guy also said that he had an he had an Apple I a while back, and he wasn't sure how much it was worth, and he had put it outside and somebody ran it over. I don't know necessarily if I believe that, but if so, he lost a lot of money. Apple I's are very valuable. Let's see, what's next? Oh, this is a bit different from everything else. It's an Oculus dev kit. Let's turn this around here. Barely fits in frame. This thing's so big compared to all the other stuff. Let's wait till I get the last thing. Yeah, it's the Oculus VR original dev kit 1. Coworker gave this to me because they didn't have any use for it. Not sure if my computers are new enough to use this thing. Especially my 5150, definitely not new enough. And I don't know how useful an original dev kit is, given that it doesn't have the sensors and high refresh of the later ones. May not work very well. Who knows? I'm going to try it. I also got this at the junk shop. This is a sort of vintage Memorex power center for your computer. Plug it in real quick right here. Let's see if I can do that. Turn that around, not electrocute myself. There I go. Turn it on. Got all these nice little lights. This one's flickering really badly. I don't know if you can see that on the camera. I'm going to swap this one out, put that one there. I thought this would go nicely under one of my monitors. Just, you know, very vintage. Everybody had one of these in the 90s and most of the 80s. Alright, this is going to be hard to get out of the way since it's plugged in now. Where's the plug? There it goes. There it goes, yeah. Alright. See, what else do I have? This sound terrible. Sorry for touching them like that. Big pile of memory I got on a eBay auction. Not sure how much of this works. A bunch of 30-pin Sims and some 72-pin Sims. I needed 72-pin Sims I can use in my 486s, but 30-pin Sims, I've got a couple 286s and 386 motherboards from an estate sale a little while ago that used these, and I didn't have any to test with. So now I got a bunch of these. They all came together in a bundle, so hopefully enough of them will work to confirm that the motherboards work. If not, I have a whole bunch of expensive paperweights. Not that expensive. Yeah, I need to stick these in an anti-static bag, but for now I'm just going to have to pick them up. Sorry. Let's see. I also got this. This is a Sony XQD memory card. This is a relatively new for memory card. This is a 16 gigabyte one. This is used by some professional cameras. It's used instead of SD cards because this has a very high write rate. So the idea is that with this you can record super high def, 4K video, no problem, versus SD, which requires some of the latest and greatest, high class SD cards to be able to be able to handle that kind of video. In fact, I'm not even sure if you can do 4K on SD cards. You probably can. They have a lot of classes of speed. So yeah, I picked one of these up. This one's actually used. I don't know what's on it, and the eBay seller said they don't know what's on it either, but they would like to know. I had to tell them, I don't actually have a reader for this. I just collect old media and new media, apparently. Alright, I think I only have one thing left, and I'm going to have to adjust the camera to show it to you, because it is kind of huge. Now this is the most interesting thing I picked up this whole week. This is, I'm going to slide it a little bit so I can actually open it. Sorry, I'm kind of inside the camera now, so you might be able to hear me breathing a lot. This is the Osborne 1. This is basically the first portable computer, period. The keyboard came out again. So, black and white, text-only screen, dual, single-density, single-sided 5 1/4 floppy drives. This is a CPM computer. The idea was this whole thing is designed to sit under a airline seat. Obviously, this was a 1980s airline seat, but yeah, this thing is amazing. This one mostly works. I was able to boot some of these disks, but not all of them. Someone online said this could be a memory problem, so I'm gonna have to burn me some new disks to run a memory diagnostic on this thing. In fact, let me try to stick the keyboard in and see if I can get it to turn on. The problem is, this keyboard does not connect terribly well. Alright, let's see if we can turn that on. Beep. Let's pull these out. I haven't been able to test this drive yet, but I know this one works. There we go. Let me move the camera a little. Zoom in a bit. Yeah. Osborne System 1, version 1.3. I was looking up something about that. Is our disk and drive able to turn? Yeah, it doesn't think there's anything in the drive, which there's not, but I thought I'd at least make a noise. Let's try WordStar. This is the WordStar disk. Sorry. Put that in. Turn. Nah, see, I don't think the keyboard is currently working properly. This keyboard connector is terrible. You've got to kind of get it in there just right. Oh, sorry, come on, focus. Yeah. Oh, there it goes. It's undone again. Yeah, I'm not going to be able to get this working, sorry. But yeah, it's a portable system. I had to drive up to Richmond, which is about an hour and a half away to pick this thing up, but it was well worth it. I can't wait to build some, new discs, do some CPM work on this thing. This thing was amazing first time. Let me move the keyboard out of the way so you can see the ports. The keyboard is hugely thick, which is amazing. There's not really anything in it. Nice keys though. It's even got, I love this, the alpha lock key, which is caps lock. You push it, it stays down. Beautiful. So yeah, it's got ports in the front, like modem, your serial port, IEEE 488, the keyboard port, which is weird and doesn't really work. This is just a little blank space. You can adjust your brightness and contrast on this little screen, which is tiny. I mean, do I have a... no. I'm hoping I had a ruler in my drawer. I don't. Got a little external video here. Usually you see these with an RCA plug right here. This is the later add-on, which doubled the screen, not width, I think it doubled the height. I mean, not the height of the screen itself, excuse me, but how many lines you could display. Got a reset button on the front, which only sometimes works, from what I've seen. Yeah, I love this little bit. Now, these are just plastic spots. There's nothing in there. There was, if you got the modem would slide and sort of sit right here, connected through this port. But these are just perfectly sized to hold your floppies right there. You put your floppies right there. You put your keyboard back on, and you can carry this thing away. I mean, it does weigh 21 pounds, but hey, that's way more portable than a 5150. Got your little screen built in. You know, once you add a screen and everything to a 5150. Now, when I say portable for this thing, I really mean luggable. This thing is huge and heavy. It's the size of a suitcase. Does not have a battery. It does have a connector here for a battery, but I don't know any batteries that use this. You have to plug this thing in the wall to use it. The idea is it's a computer you can take with you, not a computer you can use on the go. But yeah, cool CPM stuff. Need to do a lot of work on this. Probably not going to happen before the holidays, sadly. Too much to do. But yeah, I hope you liked my little video on all the stuff I've done. Hopefully in the future they won't be this long, because I can do them more often and not have to, summarize so much stuff at once. But yeah, let me know if you like this video. Thank you.